All right, so today we're going to dive into a pretty wild story about a YouTuber who goes out and buys a brand new supercar. But, and this is the key part, it's not for any of the reasons you might think. It's a journey that starts with shiny red paint and ends with a pretty bold message, turning a huge status symbol into, of all things, a tool for protest.
So, picture this. The story kicks off in a way you've probably seen 100 times. It's the big reveal of a pristine $100,000 Corvette Z06 with literally 0 miles on the clock. It's set up to be the absolute pinnacle of American engineering, a flawless flagship model. You're expecting a celebration, right?
But right out of the gate, he just completely deflates all that hype. With his totally deadpan delivery, he just dismisses the car's most exciting features like they're nothing. Red car, crazy exhaust, whatever. That one line tells you everything. This is not going to be your typical gushing supercar review. Something different is happening here.
Okay, so this is where the adventure really begins. Like any good story, it starts with an acquisition, signing the papers, getting the keys. But you gotta watch closely here, because there's this weird little piece of foreshadowing tucked right into all the boring paperwork. First things first, let's just reestablish the stakes. We're not talking about just any car. This is a 6-figure machine. That price tag, it sets a really clear expectation, right? You're expecting top-tier quality, insane performance, and a certain kind of prestige. Just keep that number in your head as this all plays out.
So check this out. While he's signing all the documents to get the car, this seemingly random thing happens. A letter shows up, and it's from the Tennessee Department of Revenue. He flat out refuses to sign for it, calling it a problem. This tiny, strange moment, it's actually the very first clue to the real reason he's buying this car in the first place.
You know how it goes. Every hero has to face some trials, right? Well, for our guy, the challenges start pretty much immediately. The second he gets his hands on this supposedly flawless machine, he starts to uncover the reality of what he just bought. And this right here, this is the core joke of the whole video. It's this constant clash between the idea of a high-end supercar and his just brutally honest, unimpressed take on it. He's not treating it like a prized possession. Nope, he keeps calling it a beater car that just happens to cost a fortune. So his first big challenge doesn't even happen on the road. It's right there in the driver's seat. He almost immediately gets into a fight with the interior design, which seems to care way more about looking cool and futuristic than, actually being functional.
And you can just feel his real frustration here. It really shows you the massive gap between the car's price and its practical design. He finds out that the dial to change the driving mode is put exactly where you would naturally rest your hand, making it a total pain to use. It seems like a small thing, but it's these little details that start to chip away at that whole supercar myth.
Okay, so things go from bad to worse really fast. We're moving on from just annoying design choices to a full-on mechanical failure. And this is shocking. The brand new 6-figure car breaks down less than 24 hours after he bought it.
And boom, there it is. That whole beater car joke he's been making, it just became real. He isn't even trying to push the car to its limits. He's just trying to drive it. The car literally refusing to shift into drive is the ultimate punchline. Only this time, the car itself delivered it. So what do you do when your brand new supercar breaks down? Well, if you're him, you take it on a pilgrimage. He drives his flawed machine all the way to its birthplace, the National Corvette Museum in Kentucky, probably looking for answers, or maybe just more stuff to make fun of.
Now, you'd think going to the official museum would be this big, reverent experience, right? A chance to really connect with the brand's amazing history. But instead of finding awe and respect, he finds something that basically proves his jokes were right all along, and it just makes him more disillusioned.
Okay, so all along he's been joking that the car looks like it was hacked out of a giant, bulky block of clay. Well, guess what he finds at the museum? An exhibit showing that that's pretty much exactly how the design process begins. His joke, his satire, turned out to be the simple truth.
But the thing that really gets him, his biggest letdown, is the museum's most famous exhibit, the sinkhole that swallowed a bunch of historic Corvettes. He sees it as this huge missed opportunity for incredible storytelling, a chance to create some real lore, which he feels they just completely wasted. And that's a big deal, because storytelling is everything to him.
All right, this is it. This is the climax, the grand finale. This is where we finally figure out what this whole thing was really about. The car, with all its funny flaws and its insane price tag, is about to become a prop in a very public and very personal statement. And there it is. It was never just about the car.
Remember that letter from the dealership at the very beginning? It all comes back to this. The whole point of the Corvette was to have a high-profile, flashy prop to stage a confrontation with a state agency that he claims arrested him twice without due process over a tax issue.
So what he does next is basically this perfectly planned piece of performance art. He rolls up in the flashy Corvette, dramatically unveils a giant canvas, and places his art right on their doorstep. In that one moment, he goes from being a car reviewer to a full-blown protest artist.
And the message on that canvas? Whoa. It is a direct, brutal accusation. He takes the kind of language law enforcement might use and flips it right back at the department, accusing them of arresting people without following what he sees as the proper rules. So after dropping off his little present, he actually walks right into the building. He asks for the special agent by name, looking for that big showdown. But instead of getting a face-to-face meeting, he just hits a bureaucratic brick wall.
And here's the anticlimax. The agent's response, which he gets over a receptionist speakerphone, is just this total deflection. "I'm not in the building today." It's kind of the perfect impersonal bureaucratic ending to his very personal protest.
So, what we just saw is a textbook example of what's called performative protest. Think about it. The super expensive car, the custom-made art, the trip to that specific government building, all of it, every piece, was a symbol. They were all props in a public play designed to make a point.
This whole wild ride really makes you wonder, right? In our world where everything is content, where every purchase can be part of a story, what's the line between just buying something, making entertainment, and real activism? This story shows how a $100,000 supercar can actually be all three of those things at the exact same time.